Hello, the Fatal One here, and you're welcome to God's beautiful world.
On my image. Pressure, 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 pressure. Hope you are mounting. We are mounting pressure. We know there is something upon your image. Yes, I know there is something upon my image. Being so careful so my setup does not set me up. Oh God, feel me. I really want to sit down for this video, but I don't know if this lightning is given. If I should stand up. And it's going to be a lot, but if it's going to give me good lighting or better lighting, I think I better do that before I get onto it. But I just want to get on with all the videos I need to shoot so that I can just sit and concentrate and work. How about like this? Am I too close or too far? When you don't have anybody checking it for you, you have to check it yourself and you have to do what works for you. Okay. Like I'm talking about retreats like a lot recently, and that's because like the year is coming to an end, and it's really good to just sit and know like how has this year even been for me. And I just want to share my own journey towards like retreat, how it all started, and even where I am now. Because I see this note, this journal, jotter, whatever it's called. Let me check the first date I can see here. The first date I can see here is 2013. So I got this like can't remember when I got it, but I can see 2013 here. I got into school 2012. So this is I was probably just in school 200 level, 100 level, which I can't remember. I've always been someone who just looks through my life, different aspects of my life. How am I doing? How can I do better? Right? That has been from secondary school. My secondary school, then our principal, she usually organize things like that for us, like bring facilitators. They talk to us about one thing or the other, and just help us to basically live an organized life and be able to take stock of how we have been doing academically, and all that generally. So that's that's where the seed was really really planted. And so even when I went into school, that's university, it was same thing for me, right? I'll usually just pick up my book. See, so I'm looking at this note. You might not be able to see, but this is 2014. I can see spiritual. I was trying to say what I want to achieve this year. Okay, so spiritually, academically, skillfully, socially, mentally. Even me, I can't believe myself. Like, oh, I had this much sense at at that time of my life. But this is what I usually would just do. So it came a time, still that 2014. I can see here. This is first February. So that one I wrote what I want to achieve this year, right? This is first of February that I'm seeing here, 2014. So I was now evaluating for January, like, oh, how did I do January? Spiritually, academically, skills, socially, mentally, and I used to do that monthly. Then I was also part of I was an ESCO in my fellowship and executive. Most times also we do retreats. We do retreats, just take stock of how we are doing, how we are leading, just being good leaders generally. And so, I used to add all that to my notes. So that's where it really, really started. I didn't aside group retreats, I did not consciously take like any time out on my own. I can't remember anyway taking any time out on my own to like, oh, go to a particular place and have my retreat. Let me just be sure that this video is still recording because I can afford. We are good. We are good. So, but the first time I actually like took out personal time to go on a retreat, go somewhere, it was after school before I went for my youth service. One of my friends had talked about this place, Alone with God, somewhere in Abuja. And I'm like, oh, I want to go there. So I packed my bags, planned it, and I went there. Wow, it was really, really a refreshing time. It is a retreat center. A lot of people come there to pray and all that. So it's really a place where you experience God. That retreat, I fasted. I think I usually fast most of my retreat, but not just dry fasting. Like I break with in between. It's there. It was really that was the first time I actually had a retreat. The place is not expensive, so I could afford it at that time. And I stayed a couple of days. I think 3 days there. Prayed, just reviewed and things I like reviewed and planned my life. Going forward. This was after school. I was just fresh out of school. So that was the first time I actually took like a getaway retreat, and it was like a retreat center. Next year, the next time I took a retreat was after my service year. Yeah, my sister and her husband were traveling for the festive season for Christmas, so their house was going to be empty. And I'm like, very good time. I think this was 2021 now. Either 2020, 2021, I think. And I'm like, oh, please, can I come and, have my retreat in your house? And they said, yes, of course. So that was the second time I did a retreat. I didn't have to pay for anything. They had food in the house. So I fasted and broke my fast eating. At this point in time, I think this 2021, I had actively listened to Maximizing Personal Retreat by Apostle Joshua Selman. And so it was more structured in terms of me reviewing my year, me planning for the next year, me just being grateful for what had as in how God had brought me that year. So that was it for 2021. The next year, I went to another retreat center. This is the Drag Retreat Center in Abuja as well. This place is so cool, so comfortable, like so serene. The environment so aesthetically pleasing. Better than the other one though. Yeah, so I went there, had my retreat. It was really, really good and refreshing time as well. Then after that, I think I've had retreat in drag twice. Oh, yes, I've had retreat in drag 2 times, but honestly can't figure it out now. um, how that happened, but I've had retreat in drag 2 times. And how I knew about drag was in my secondary school as well. When we were in final year, that's in our SSC, our principal took us there to have our retreat. So that's how I knew about the place, right? We went there, she took all of us. It was retreats are usually nice. You can imagine us going out. It was a boarding school. You can imagine us going out of school, lodging somewhere, did spiritual activities and all that. God bless my principal. She really helped us. So that's how I knew about drag, and I've had retreat there twice. I can't figure out which year and which year. But last year, was it last year or this year? Yeah, last year December. My retreat was in my house. I didn't go anywhere. I can't remember why. I think I didn't even have enough funds to do that or some other family thing. But what I just did was to get a room in the house and have my retreat there. Just locked myself there and did my retreat for 3 days. And so that's how retreat has just been evolving for me. The main thing is I always plan ahead. Like now I'm already planning, oh, this December, how is my retreat going to be? What am I going somewhere? Am I staying in my house? But it has just been evolving like that for me, and honestly it's really, really good for me. I'm a data person, and it's just really, really nice to just look at what I've written. So this is how I used to think, when I was a teenager that year, and this is how much I have grown, not just by words, but even seeing the things I wrote down and things that I have done. So basically, that's how retreat has been for me. It doesn't really have to be anything serious. Just start from where you are. Start from where you are. Start from things that you have access to, things that you can, find around you, places, and have a great time. Hear from God, review your year, and plan for the next year. Again, my retreat guide is still available on my seller store. You can download it and use it. It just walks you through what you do before, during, and even after your retreat, and watch your life transform for the better.
Today, we're expecting our furniture to arrive, and I was just cleaning and getting the space ready. While you watch me clean and make shawarma, let me gist you about something that has really shaped my walk with God: consecration. Consecration for me is one of the ways I deepen my relationship with God. It simply means just giving up something a comfort, a pleasure to humble yourself before God, depend on Him totally, and thereby getting or drawing close to Him. When you look at scripture, you see that in different places. For example, Samson wasn't allowed to cut his hair. That was his consecration. John the Baptist lived on locust and wild honey. That was his own consecration. For me, sometimes has asked me to give up something for a specific period of time. Other times, out of love for God, I choose to give up something just to seek Him more intentionally. Since I started building my personal relationship with God, consecration has become part of my lifestyle. I don't usually wait for God to say do this or do that. He tells me, but from time to time, I simply just choose or stay away from certain things. Not because they are sins, because we are obviously meant to stay away from sin, but just things that, give me pleasure or some sort of satisfaction, because I want to strengthen my spirit and weaken my flesh. This year wasn't left out. This year, my consecration was something that seemed more difficult for me. It has to do with a particular type of food which I enjoy. I'm a sweet tooth. I like snacks a lot, and one of the things I had to give up this year was eating flour and sugar. Just one of those are just some of them. So I had to be very intentional. What this helped me to do was, first of all, it forced me to be very creative when it comes to eating, and especially eating healthy foods, and also helped me to be very intentional about reading my labels and the ingredients when I want to buy something. I also research a lot. I ask AI the meaning of some ingredients just in case I don't understand what they are or how they were made, but just anything to generally stay aligned to my consecrations. The truth is, sometimes I broke them unknowingly, right? Other times I broke them like knowingly, I was aware. I mean, God is still helping me. God is still helping me with that. But I'm someone that likes biscuit a lot. I like to eat biscuit a lot, and it's very hard to say because I mean, I don't think I've seen any biscuit that didn't make with flour. Then also, I've been craving shawarma lately. So at the beginning of the year when I started, when I want to have like cakes or any of those, I use oat flour, right? Not the main flour that we know, but oat flour. Then, but as time went on, and I realized there was wheat flour. That's the whole wheat. Now I know I'm a baker, and I know that the normal flour or flour that we know is made from wheat. It's a byproduct from wheat, but it is more processed. So a lot of things are done, before it becomes flour. So, but I started to incorporate wheat flour. That's whole wheat. You buy the wheat grain and just grind. You're not processing anything, just grind it and eat it whole. So I'd eaten wheat bread few times and I'd used it, to bake, but mostly I go with oats flour. But I've been craving shawarma, and the last time I tried to make a wrap bread, that's a flat bread with oats, it didn't really like go well. I didn't do it well. So I just left it. I'm just like, oh, well, when I'm done with this, I will eat shawarma. But the craving just became more, and I wanted to like really try out my hands on something or try to make something. So I moved to the UK recently, and when we go for shopping, when I check their labels, I see, oh, wheat flour. So while shopping, I saw biscuit that was wheat flour, right? No sugar, sugar-free wheat flour, and the ingredients showed wheat flour. And so I bought it. In fact, I was eating, I was happy, like, finally I can see something that is nice. But looking at it, it didn't look like whole wheat. When you see whole wheat, it's kind of like brown because the back is still there, right? They just blend it and blend it smooth. But this one was still, the biscuit still looked like as it was normal flour. But I saw wheat flour, so I'm like, okay, it's wheat flour they used. Go shopping, I see like other things, maybe bread, I'm seeing wheat flour, biscuit, I'm seeing wheat flour. And I'm just like, so one day I was just thinking, it's like, I was just thinking, they use wheat flour here a lot though. I don't see any label that shows just flour. The day I decided to do shawarma, so we went shopping and I was looking for a flatbread with wheat flour. So um I checked wheat flour, no sugar. I was basically for a flatbread with wheat flour and no sugar. So I found this one, and I bought biscuit as well and all that. So just for me, I was just thinking over it in my head then. I'm sure that was the Holy Spirit just telling me that, auntie. But I was just thinking over it in my head. I'm like, they use wheat flour for everything. Like there was something off kind of. So I now went to chat GPT and was asking, okay, that the wheat flour in UK labels, is it the same thing with the flour we use in Nigeria? And ChatGPT just had to explain to me that yes, it's the same thing. In UK, if it's whole wheat, they'll write on the ingredient whole wheat flour. But for why they label normal flour wheat flour, it's just to tell you that the byproduct where it comes from, because there's plantain flour, there's oat flour, you get. So it just tell you that okay, this flour, they're saying wheat flour means this flour came from wheat. So I was just like, in my head, like that means I've been eating flour all this while and I didn't know, like it didn't occur to me. So that honestly, that day I was torn in between, like I already bought biscuits. Like I've been craving biscuit, I've already bought biscuit, I've already brought this in, like, oh, I'm supposed to do my shawarma. But as I was just thinking over it, I just told myself that okay, I'm not going to eat it. Right? I'm not going to eat it. I was just like, okay, I'll make the wrap for my husband and then I'll give him the biscuit to eat while I wait on God. So that was it. I just made up my mind and that was it. But then during the day we went out again for shopping and then we tried looking for whole wheat wrap again and we searched a lot, sha. And we finally found one, the one I used. So I was just so happy, like that. That thank God I found this wheat bread. Oh, that's the wheat bread. You can imagine, like because we've been looking for this and we didn't see, but I saw it in that store. It's the whole wheat, and then the look alone, you can see from the picture, from the video rather, it's brown. So like it's whole wheat that's been used in making the flatbread. And honestly, I was just so happy that I didn't compromise, right, on my consecration. It just felt like for me, God was just saying, like, because I stood my ground, like, here you go, like, look at what you're looking for. I was able to enjoy my shawarma that I was craving. I made the shawarma sauce myself. That is the salad sauce. I made that myself as well with healthy ingredients that I have, and I really enjoyed it. And honestly, this consecration has helped me so much this year to control cravings, to discipline my flesh, to be more sensitive to the spirit, and to deepen my intimacy with God. The flesh will always want gratification. That's not the devil, it's simply flesh being the flesh. But if we truly want to walk with God, we must learn to quiet the flesh and strengthen the spirit. And consecrations have been one of the most practical ways I have done that. Sometimes God tells me directly, sometimes it comes to my spirit, sometimes I choose it myself. Either way, the benefits has been undeniable. I am more aligned, more sensitive, and more grounded in Him. So that's my consecration story for this year. I hope it encourages you to incorporate consecration into your walk with God, even in small ways. You will be amazed how it transforms your heart and sharpens your spirit. If you have watched up to this point, thank you so much. I hope you learned one or two things. Don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment below, maybe a question or your own consecration experience. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll see you in my next video.